G'day fellow space explorers, I'm Adam David Collings, and I'm really excited today to announce a new book release. It's called Challenge Accepted, a charity anthology. And I'm one of 17 contributing authors. The project was organised and edited by Stephanie Barr, and it's themed around disabled heroes of all types. A blind starship pilot, cops and maintenance personnel in wheelchairs, taking on bad guys with only one leg or no arms. It's not what you are that makes you something special, it's who you choose to be. 17 stories about people who rise above anything that tries to stop them, even their own limitations. All author proceeds from this project go to the Special Olympics. My story is called Hands and Knees, and is set in my Jewel of the Stars universe. One thing about the Jewel of the Stars is that you don't get to see it in its normal state as a cruise ship for very long. Now, this is necessitated by the story, obviously, because an alien invasion puts them on the run. But for this story, I wanted to go back and have the setting on the ship back when everything was still fun and happy. Our hero is Nassandra, a paraplegic woman in a hover chair. Because, it's the future. On the cruise, she meets Justin, and together they find more adventure than they bargained for while exploring the cliffs of an alien planet on one of their shore excursions. Let me read you a little excerpt from the beginning. The teleport chamber coalesced around Nassandra in a shower of sparkling light. She plunged downward for a moment until her chair reasserted its anti-grav field. The teleport chamber on board the ship didn't look much different from the one she just left at Heathrow Spaceport. Nassandra pushed the throttle and a hover chair sailed forward, out of the chamber, into a small room. A handsome smiling steward reached out to hand her a drink, and then hesitated as he noticed her hand on the throttle. Nassandra took the glass in her left hand. "Welcome aboard Jewel of the Stars," the steward said. "Please enjoy this complimentary cocktail." "Thanks," she said. "Your luggage won't be in your stateroom yet, but lunch is being served in the buffet on deck 1. "Sounds good, I'm starved." She pushed the throttle and sailed out of the room into an opulent hallway with deep red carpet and gold trims around the walls. She sipped the drink. Not her kind of thing, but at least it was refreshing. A wave of heat washed over Nassandra. She was really here, on a cruise ship. It was beautiful. Hard to believe that this would be her home for the next week. People pressed around her from every direction. This wasn't the quiet, peaceful environment she'd expected. She closed her eyes and took a breath. Lunch. She should make her way to the buffet. She pushed forward. The subtle hum of her chair was completely enveloped by the laughter of adults, the shouting of excited children, and the cries of those kids who couldn't handle the noise of all the others. Nassandra understood those kids. The buffet was even busier than the main lobby. Nassandra surveyed the room for an empty table. None. She'd be lucky to find one, and travelling alone, she couldn't get anyone to hold it for her while she got her food. She'd have to go line up first, and then find a table, once she had her meal. The buffet was well designed with plenty of room for a chair to get around, but the sheer number of people milling about made it almost impossible. She hugged both arms around herself. She'd never been claustrophobic before the accident, but since she'd lost the use of her legs, crowds made her more anxious. She took a deep breath. No, it wasn't claustrophobia. Her newfound discomfort in crowds was a pale shadow of what true claustrophobia experienced. Choose your words with more care, Nassandra. She neared what appeared to be the end of the line for the Asian food. She could use a nice stir-fry. Several people slotted in front of her, emerging from a tight gap near a drink station. The one at the back, a Caucasian man, turned and smiled at her. "Oh, sorry, you were here first." His accent was American. He wasn't overly tall, but reasonably well-built and clean-shaven. He wore a Jason McNimus t-shirt, one of her favourite fantasy authors. The man stepped aside. "Please," he gestured her forward. Nassandra nodded politely and returned his smile. They didn't speak again in the line, too noisy, but she did sneak a glance over her shoulder at him once or twice. So that's a little taste from the beginning of my story. If you want any more, you might have to get the book. Challenge Accepted is available in ebook, paperback, and large print, and you can find it on all the major book retailers on the internet.